latest book on in spiritual science. Today we'll be discussing that book. So actually we introduced this author in our previous classes also. His name is Rick Hansen. Rick Hansen, you can Google his name. You can find his literature in the internet. And today we'll be discussing his book. This is the book which I want to discuss today. The title of the book is Neurodharma. Neurodharma, 7 Steps to the Highest Happiness. So this is the book I want to like introduce you to all you people, so that you can take some help from this book also. A pure meditation book. This book is deeply researched and compassionate guide. It offers an easy to roadmap for creating day-to-day inner peace in today's increasing complex world. Even Joan Borisenko has reviewed this book as Neurodharma is a rare book, perhaps the most stunning marriage of ancient wisdom and modern science ever written. Only Rick Hansen could weave impeccable scholarship of core Buddhistic text together with latest neuroscience to reveal an exciting, practical, and accessible path to human happiness that anyone can follow. So this work, like there is an old Buddhistic text. You can find it in internet, or the text is Iti Uttaka, from Gemstones of Good Dhamma, Saddhamma Mani Ratana, compiled and translated by Dhammika. So access to insight, there is a archive where you can find that old Buddhistic text. So that text with the latest neuroscience findings, uh, the synthesis of this Buddhistic texts and neuroscience inclusiveness and the essence of both the things, well researched and documented in this book. So that is why it is known as neuro like neurons, which get always fired once you think, or neurons in your brain, how they follow the dharmic principle, the dharma principle. This is what is written in this beautiful scientific researched complete teachings of Buddha. If at all you can put the complete teachings of Buddha in a scientific lab, the output is this grand book, this latest uh, release, Neurodharma, 7 Steps to the Highest Happiness, by Rick Hansen. Everyone should read this book if at all you want to understand Buddha's teachings from scientific perspective. Uh, so Neurodharma is the term the author used for the truth of the mind, grounded in the truth of the body. So he says we will use this approach in this complete book to explore 7 ways of being that are the essence of awakening. And the second pointer is learn about their basis in your own brain. And the third point is use this understanding to strengthen them in yourself. So that is why he has written this Neurodharma perspective book to the new age humans. So so what should I say? We'll go and discuss discuss the 7 most important things. Okay. Yeah. So the 7 things everyone should know once you started meditating, or you study literature regarding meditation, or you heard something regarding meditation. The latest thing is there are 7 things. Okay, the 7 steps as we'll discuss. Okay, so I'll tell you the 7 points. Okay, the 7 practices of awakening. First thing is studying the mind. Okay, studying the mind is what is the first basic foundational aspect everyone should focus on, to if they have inner axis. So through meditation, the first aspect everyone should scientifically, or in Buddhistic literature, meditation or awakening of senses or awakening of inner centers. Uh, the first thing everyone should clearly understand, and to have so much of clarity, the first aspect is studying the mind. Studying the mind is what we can see the synonyms or similarities of this principle of studying the mind is, first one has to cultivate that focus, that concentration, that attention, the calm, the one pointedness. Okay, working out with all the separatistic thoughts or base thoughts which we have really stored in our mind, needs to be dealt with. So that is what is the first step. The first step is steadiness of mind. So we can say, like, gradient meditation or slow and steady and regular meditation, all these things are, like, directly proportional to the point called steadiness of mind. So once every person achieves this, then he'll be a more happy mind fellow, or he can taste his happiness, or can share happiness. But we struggle a lot, because of our unsteady approaches, with our distractions, with our so much of dislocated way of looking into life. So all these factors needs to be attended, and one needs to cultivate uh, steadiness of mind. So that is what is the entire Buddhistic text or neuroscience latest research says. Uh, cultivate steadiness of mind is the first principle. And the second thing is, as we do that, we go to the second level. Second level, he says it as warming the heart. Okay, warming the heart is like, at the deeper level of meditation or deeper level of awakening, we can see the characteristics of, like, not only the thoughts come under your control, but every individual or every person who starts meditation or going in the right direction, they can really communicate with their feelings, feelings which come from the heart. That is what is the second layer or second level of inner journey explained in the Buddhistic texts and neuroscience. Warming the heart. First thing is steadiness of the mind. Second is warming the heart level, and the third thing is, uh, as we progress, or we go into more regularity in our steadiness of mind and warming up the heart, then the third thing, like, we go into a kind of stillness, a kind of silence. That state of silence, or by conquering the noisiness of the mind, the voices we have in our daily patterns, we go into a much subtler level, which this author calls it as resting in fullness. That is the most important stage. Okay, once you empty all your subconscious activities or a mechanicalness, you communicate or connect with that fullness aspect of get embodied with that fullness of space. You connect with the space, and you feel more larger, you feel more full. That is what they explained as resting in fullness. Resting is fullness is where once you start seeing the the expansive perspective or concept of space. So you enter space and you never get contracted. Whenever you feel so contracted with a closed mind or a closed heart, the remedy is go into a much deeper level of awakening or deeper level of meditation, and every individual can access that resting place of fullness is what really charges every person in meditation. That is why they say the third step is resting in fullness. So the first step was steadiness of mind, the second step was warming the heart, and third step is resting in fullness. So this is how every person should go into themselves. If at all they go through the Buddhistic text and science literature, these are the map. This is the map everyone should really practice to find a much happy inner life, or for much authentic power. If you want to really taste it in meditation, these are the steps. These 7 steps are the flow charts for every human being. You go through any kind of Buddhistic text or any meditation, these are the building bridges one needs to go through, so to find the core in yourself. So this is why they have put it in a very step-by-step way: steadiness of mind, warming the heart, fullness, resting in fullness. So these are the things one individual should sit and really contemplate on. Am I meditating? Did I achieve that steadiness? Or the second thing is, am I in the feelings part? Uh, Steadiness of mind, feelings, lovingness. The second is lovingness and feelingness, and the third is resting is in fullness. If you have such kind of experiences, again, this author gives you a beautiful spiritual direction and can take you into the fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh state also. So the fourth state, as he says it, is as uh, in the fourth state, after you have the experience of that fullness, the fourth step is known as people start uh, seeing every part of their life being in wholeness. So all partial things, all partial thoughts, or our senses taking a partial information, or all our partial feelings, everything like inside life, inside subtle centers or fiery things, become everything becomes holistic. Because one through practice of meditation, through practice of awakening procedures, if you can really become whole inside, the way our senses see the external world, so we stop seeing things partially, and we see things every time, every object, every problem, every event in our life, we start seeing it in a complete picture, like in a wholeness. That is what is they say as being in wholeness is the fourth stage of going into deeper practice of meditation. First thing is steadiness of mind, second is feelings part, lovingness of the heart, third thing is you resting in the fullness, and the fourth thing is being whole. Like, uh, are we that holistic? Are we seeing everything from the cosmic perspective, or planetary perspective, or solar perspective, or intuitional perspective, or from mind perspective, or emotional perspective, or physical perspective, or all combined put together, is what we achieve once we do this practice regularly, with all the things inclusively. If at all we practice meditation so scientifically, as Buddha said, or all new age scientists are really contributing with their research, these are the steps. So the fourth step is we start being whole, like paripurnatvamu ante all life we have seen everything in a very partial way, in a more emotional ways, or only seeing the physical aspect of every event. We grow, we evolve from that partiality, from that unrealityness, from that assumptions, or from that illusionary things. We start seeing things more clearly. That seeing things clearly is what the Buddha said, like see things whole. All Vedas, Upanishads say, start seeing everything in a whole picture, like in a paripurnatvamu is what we call it as in Telugu. That is what is the fourth stage. Fourth stage is known as being whole. And next, fifth is, after you see everything in a paripurna picture or wholeness, you start receiving nowness. That is the fifth state. Fifth state, we become more integrated. Now enough of we are already integrated in entire inner aspects. Alignment is there. We are more relaxed. Then comes like the more integrated, the more whole you become, the more synthesized you become, the more together you become inside. Then you start experiencing that that nowness is what people are thriving for or striving for. Nowness is achieved, or your past, future, or that linear time period. You go above that and you become more integrated, and you become so engulfed in this nowness that whatever comes in your life, from that nowness, you face all your obstacles or hardships or whatever you call it as, by whatever name you call it as. Because if you meditate thoroughly, regularly, and go inside and practice meditation, your entire system gets ready to be in the nowness. That is what every student or every disciple or every aspirant desires for, is what is will be achievement of meditation output. If you do practice meditation thoroughly, scientifically, regularly, you should know that you should be present in the nowness. See how step by step every beautiful aspect the Buddha has taught in the past, and the same Buddhistic texts, if seen through the scientific lens. These are all the steps: studying the mind, lovingness, feelingness of the heart, then fullness, then comes wholeness. Now the fifth step is nowness. You can see so many beautiful literature in today's world about power of now, or what is the importance of staying in the moment. Is not that easy. It is the fifth step of practice. Like, if you go through this gradient scale, regular scales, if you follow the flow chart, the nowness is achieved in the fifth level. People who have steadiness of mind, who can understand their loving nature or feelings nature, then if they are resting in fullness, then if they start seeing things full in wholeness, then they come to a state called receiving nowness. Receiving nowness is a more integrated, synthesized, holistic togetherness. If you achieve through regular practice of meditation, this fifth state of awakening is known as receiving nowness. And the sixth thing is opening to the allness. Then after you experience so much of nowness, inside and outside lives become allness. You know how to connect with the external world, external forms, because you worked out with all the inner forms and you are above the form state. You know how to connect with the allness and render service to the external world. Is what is the sixth step of practice of meditation or awakening is. Are we really connected, in a position to connect with every aspect of the form of external world? that allness connection, is it established, or are we having so much of struggle to understand the form, or only we are connected with only some things in life, we are disconnected with something of life, then we can never achieve that allness. That allness is the sixth step of practice. That is what is the evolutionary scale. If at all we have a steady mind, lovingness, feelingness, then resting in fullness, then wholeness, then nowness, then the sixth step is allness. After getting this allness, your connection with allness, then you go to the ultimate level. The seventh level is known as finding timelessness. That is where we really worked out with the individual mind or planetary mind or mind of the humanity, and you have access towards to the timeless state. From the timeless state, if at all we start functioning, then that is what the author calls it as nirvana, or a state of liberation, where we know we can access the timelessness and we function from timelessness. And the time which is running the entire life period of every individual, then the entire life will be under your control if you reach a state of timelessness. So meditation, slowly, from steadiness of mind, from feelingness, lovingness, from fullness, from wholeness, from nowness, from allness, then you enter the real universal aspect of timelessness. Uh, that is what our real original home lies. We come from timelessness to experience time, and we again return back by cultivating this steadiness, this lovingness, feelingness. The third part, fullness, fourth part being wholeness, fifth part be the nowness, sixth part being the allness. You finally enter the domain of timelessness, and you resurrect yourself into the timelessness without any breakdowns. You break through from steadiness to timelessness. That is where you find immense joy flowing in your life, immense bliss. All these things you can really experience once we taste the timelessness through meditation and awakening process in a more scientific, systematic manner, is what is discussed in this beautiful Buddhistic scientific journal, or authentic book written by Rick Hanson. Shows the roadmap from the steadiness to the timelessness through the practice of meditation. And he has given uh, seven beautiful exercises, and all these seven aspects he discussed so completely through guided meditations. For all these seven things, he has given so much of beautiful guided meditations, and every individual can really do this meditation. If you be in any part of these seven levels, to going to the much deeper level and finding more authentic happiness. So I want all you people to study this book and do these seven meditations, and become more authentic, more a practical meditator, or a scientific meditator, by following these seven steps. Is what is such a beautiful gift from this great man called Rick Hanson. So you can see these seven steps in all literatures, not only Buddhistic literature, everywhere. Now this year I could understand all these things. Like, you can put all meditations of Symphony of Zodiac into this timelessness state, or you can put all Symphony of Zodiac meditations into this timelessness, or connecting with allness. Okay, nowness, uh, wholeness, comes fullness, and comes lovingness, feelingness, heart, and steadiness of mind. So in the context of esoteric science, or Tarkam's work, or theosophical work, all meditation books written by any author from any background, you can see all these seven steps covered authentically, more holistically. Talks about more holistic approach. Eckhart Tolle speaks about nowness. Uh, all New Age authors, especially even Tarkam or Osho, they talk about timelessness, and everyone speaks about heart and how to we need to cultivate our heart so that our mind and heart go hand in hand, is what all New Age people are speaking about. Heart mind meditations or loving kindness meditations, they are the second part. And all mindfulness books which are there in the New Age, they talk about this steadiness of mind, calming mind. Then the next level is heart, how to cultivate your heart so that your subconscious mind or you become more conscious. Cultivating all virtues fall into the deeper gradations. So these 7 steps are like, they are the flags or the pillars. You every individual should understand this journey from steadiness of mind to timelessness. Such scientifically uh, written book is what this Neurodharma is about. 7 steps to the highest happiness. And he wrote more deeply about each and every aspect, okay, about steadiness, about lovingness, about fullness, about wholeness, nowness, allness, timelessness. So this is what he calls it as the embodied practice and an unshakable core. You want an unshakable core in you with practice of meditation. Then the unshakable core is can be achieved with these 3 things: steadying the mind, warming the heart, and resting in fullness. And next, third part is living into everything. Can be achieved being wholeness, receiving nowness, opening to allness, and finding timelessness. So if at all you practice these steps for some time period and taste the timelessness, then all the questions every individual who has in the spiritual journey will be answered, if at all you practice it more regularly and bridge all these 7 aspects, bridge yourself through the practice of meditation, is what every individual should do in their daily practice. So this is what I wanted to convey to you. So today my book to introduce you is Neurodharma, 7 steps to highest happiness. Read this book. And I was like waiting for an opportunity to introduce this book, and I wanted to do it at Swajay office because I got those 7 exercises. I cannot do it online because of some copyright issues. So next time, whenever this Corona time is over, please remind me so that we'll do these 7 exercises in a particular class, and then you can practice these 7 steps more regularly in your daily life. Is what I wanted to convey to you all people, because this is such an essence, such a scientific background book where entire Buddhistic literature and science merged, and we got such an authentic book from a great fellow. So we need to take some light from this book, is what my intention was. So go through his website, Rick Hanson. He has done such a fantastic job in his life, and I treat him as one of the top spiritual scientists living on this planet today. So, and most of the people know his name. Okay, and this is his latest work. So, hope to do those 7 meditational guided meditations related with steadiness of mind or heart or fullness or wholeness, nowness, allness, and timelessness. If you can give me some time for 3-4 hours, I think we'll do all those exercises at LB Nagar office. And I think those 7 exercises will be of help to you, and hope you blossom or cherish or cultivate your potentials and whatever may be the thing. But the entire scientific community is so happy to read this book from a great fellow called Rick Hanson. And I was just enjoying that book, slowly studying it from the past 2 months. Authentic book, more integrated book, a book which gives you us more clarity, a book which gives us a scientific roadmap for the inner journey, is what this book is all about. And this book is about these 7 steps, a holistic approach to every aspect of the inner journey is what is described in this book. And what inspired him to do this book was that he had to go through the entire Buddhistic scriptures and with his putting all these things into the lab, and got out this book. And this is a great gift. And in from the esoteric perspective, we can call this book as a authentic Ray 5 book, like, completely Ray 5 book supported by Ray 6. Ray 6 is religion or Buddhistic aspects merged with science. Ray 5 is what this book we can say from that perspective also. So entirely a beautiful science book. A Buddha, if at all, is in, if he comes to a lab, this will be the output. So you should read this book, Neurodharma, 7 Steps to the Highest Happiness by Rick Hanson, is my today's book to introduce to you. Read that book, become more scientific, and get more confidence and trust in your meditation sessions, and start building your bridges and going to the more deeper levels of meditation. And our goal fitness, or our every individual's purpose is to reach that timelessness state, is what even Tarkam wrote in his third version, Higher Connections, Meditation 3, Volume 3. The entire book is about timelessness. Okay, even that principle is discussed in this book. And going through entire literature of meditation, if at all we can collect all books, we can say these 7 principles are the pillars of meditation journey or awakening journey, is what I could observe or understand from this Swaja Yoga. That is why I was so curious to present this book. And we can say authentically that all entire spiritual science is so much interconnected. So every master was talking about only these 7 things, more like, some authors, some individuals focused on one principle more. So authentically seeing all masters putting entire their teachings, these are the 7 things. So thank you.